Professional!
There, see. All the way up. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm Hassan and my wife Sunisa and I are traveling through Thailand. If this is your first time, this is where my wife and I, we do vlogs of tourist attractions, US road trips, and other interesting experiences in the US and beyond. The reason why I do this is so that you can take advantage of some of the same attractions and ultimately have a better and more enjoyable experience. We are currently living in Thailand, and today's video highlights our 3-day trip to Khao Sok National Park, located in Suratthani province. The national park is located around Cheow Lan Lake, where there are many activities to see and do, such as tour the emerald color lake and see the limestone cliffs. There's hiking, there's cave dwelling, there's elephant sanctuaries. You can stay on a raft house on the lake and visit Khao Sok, also known as the Three Brothers, which are extravagant limestone peaks on the lake. At the end of this video, you will see why Khao Sok National Park is a real gem and a must-visit in Thailand. The video is separated by chapters, so feel free to skip ahead if you like. And if you're wondering where to stay and how to book your Khao Sok National Park lodging, make sure to check out this video here. Enjoy. Let's talk about how this place came to be. Khao Sok National Park was officially established in 1980, but the rainforest here is far older, estimated to be over 160 million years. That makes it older than the Amazon, folks. In the 1980s, the Thai government built the Ratchaprapha Dam, which created Cheow Lan Lake, the stunning emerald reservoir you've probably seen in pictures and on Instagram. Entire villages were relocated, limestone karsts turned into islands, and what we have now is one of the most dramatic freshwater landscapes in Southeast Asia. What gives it its green emerald color? It's the calcium carbonate deposits in the water from the limestone karsts, which when light shines through it, the water gives it this green hue. So it is straight gorgeous out here, and definitely not something you see every day. And the 5 of us, Sunisa, Mark, Laura, Ginette, and myself, we all came out here to find out what's worth your time and what's not. So before we jump into the activities, let me provide a quick overview of the national park. So there are 2 entrances to the national park. You have the main gate, which is near Khao Sok village, and then you have the Cheow Lan Pier entrance, which is near the Ratchaprapha Dam. And just note, so they're about 1 hour driving time apart from each other. So parking at the pier, if you have a vehicle, it's 40 baht per day. If you stay overnight, now you're looking at 80 baht for overnight stay. So entry fees to the park, each day you pay a 300 baht national park fee per person per day. And then there's an additional 40 baht per person per day for a municipal fee. I don't know why you can't pay them together, but you pay them separately. And then 300 for each person. So here's one important tip. So you can walk around the headquarters area in the main gate without paying. And have access to the restaurants, the lodges, the cafes. We'll stay overnight. You got Thai food and pizza. The paid part of the national park begins at the trailhead. So let's move on to the activities. This is where we highlight what's worth it and what's not. Let's start with the must-do, the boat tours. If you come to Khao Sok National Park and skip a boat tour on Cheow Lan Lake, you've wasted your trip. Because if nothing else, this is what you want to do here, even if going on boats is not your thing. The reason why I say that is it's beautiful. You won't see anything else like it probably in your lifetime, and you'll regret not wanting to do it. If you're not a strong swimmer, don't fret, because you're required to wear a life vest at all times near the water. When you arrive at the Cheow Lan Pier, there are about a dozen vendors who sell things like fruits, clothing, and waterproof bags. A great place to pick up any last-minute effects you might need for your trip, especially if you're staying overnight in a raft house on the lake. Sunday Easter hats.
Yeah.
One banana for 5 baht, or you can get a bunch of them for 30 or 20 baht. At the pier, they're all group tours and private tours. Group tours usually run between 1,500 and 2,500 baht per person, depending on the inclusions, right? We paid 1,800 baht per person for an all-day tour, which included the boat tour, cave dwelling, lunch, kayaking, hiking. And I say hiking because it wasn't a real hike. And a real hiker would be disappointed in what these standard day packages have to offer. But as you can see, we still had fun. Go ahead, sweetie. But I'm quickly getting off track. Let me bring it back to the boat tours. And then you can also do a private boat charter for as little as 2,000 baht or 60 US dollars if you book at the pier. And you can see the prices here. So even though it might be cheaper, you might be sacrificing English language speaking ability. Or it'll cost more if you try to do it through one of these third-party sites. But if you split it between friends, then that may make it worth your while. You can book group tours through places like Khao Sok Lake Limited and also Khao Sok National Park tours. I will put a link in the description below. So we did book an all-day boat tour through the Khao Sok Lake Limited. Again, the link is down in the description. The limestone cliffs look something out of like Jurassic Park. Water's real calm, air's quiet except when you hear the boat's motor. It's just a beautiful experience. And here's a little pro tip for you. You may want to purchase a 40 baht rain poncho from the vendor stalls near the pier if you go on the boats. Now we didn't do that, which was a mistake. When the boat hits top speed, the spray soaks passengers in every seat. When I say every seat, every single seat. Luckily, it's fresh water. The second activity, you have the overnight raft house packages. So staying on the lake in the raft house is also high on the list of things to do at Khao Sok. As I point out in my Khao Sok lodging video, I would only stay on the lake one night. To see more on this and for some hidden lodging gems, watch this video. I really encourage you to do that. When it comes to these raft house bookings, you can book directly with the lodging entity or through a third-party lodging site, right? Like booking.com, agoda.com, kayak, etc. Right? But also, you can book an overnight excursion with raft house accommodations. There are 1 and 2 night packages, which includes meals, boat transportation and tour, hiking, swimming, kayaking, etc. All that stuff starting at 3,000 baht per person. So that's $90 US per person. But then it goes way up depending on your comfort level. All right, moving right along to the next. 3, you got your hiking tours. So I say that because we did have some folks in our group that did a 6-hour guided tour through the jungle, and the reviews were mixed. The guide's English was limited, which made the experience feel a little bit more like a quiet group walk. Despite all that, they still were able to see some good flora and fauna and some primates to include what looked like the speckled langur. The hikes, which are part of the all-day tour package, weren't the best, but they can still be quite entertaining depending on your tour guide's personality.
Let's go. Die. Perfect.
Really?
Oh.
Perfect. Die, my friend.
Poison? Poisonous?
Poison?
Poison?
Yes. It has the cyanide inside.
That's poison. There are several shorter self-guided trail tours near the main gate So if you are a hiker, you can either do one of these self-guided tours or buckle down and really do your due diligence and pick one. Also, just a note, if the Rafflesia flower is in bloom, so that changes things. This Rafflesia flower is one of the largest flowers in the world, and it blooms right here in Khao Sok National Park. And if it is in bloom, I recommend you go pay the park fee and go check it out, because you'll probably never see that again, especially in the wild. Simply check with your national park staff for those details. Okay, next you got kayaking and tubing. Kayaking on the Cheow Lan Lake is peaceful and absolutely worth doing, especially if it's included in your boat package. Tubing on the river near the Khao Sok village, it's more relaxed fun than an extreme activity, right? So think gentle, floating, jungle views, no adrenaline spike or anything like that. And costs are, you're gonna be between 300 and 500 baht. Elephant Sanctuary. So we visited the Khao Sok Elephant Sanctuary. We paid about 500 baht, which is 15 US dollars, for a 40-minute feeding session. Despite what the website says, there are currently only 2 elephants. One passed away back in October 2025 due to digestive complications. This is what the lady told me. Website. What happened?
Stomach.
Oh, the stomach busted.
Broken.
Ah. They paid a large amount to acquire this elephant, which was already in poor health. So they're saying it wasn't their fault. So once the elephant takes the food and puts it on the ground, they do not want you to pick it back up, because the elephant will get to the food. With this 40-minute feed, it was ample time to spend with the elephants without feeling rushed, which was nice. But please note that touching and feeding are not approved activities by the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries, or GFAS, right? But, you know, it's a decent experience nonetheless. Lauda giving Wasana some love. As you can see, this pachyderm's ears are torn. According to the administrator, this occurred when she used to work for a logging company. Apparently the bamboo tore her ears. I don't know exactly how that happened. The elephants didn't seem mistreated or anything like that, but they didn't seem particularly enthusiastic either, except when they're getting fed bananas. But with that said, these are truly some fascinating creatures. It's just wonderful to be in the presence of them. If you have no other chance to visit the elephant sanctuary elsewhere, this one is fine. And you get plenty of interaction with them. All right, moving right along to the next. Getting to Khao Sok. So we flew from Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok to Suratani International Airport. Flight time is about 1 hour and 20 minutes. And then it's another hour by car from Suratani Airport to Khao Sok National Park Dam. And the cost was right around $100 per person round trip. Now there are other options. You can take a bus, which costs half that price for about a 13-hour trip each way. You also can take a bus from Phuket, which is about 3 hours drive or ride. And then you can also take a ferry from Koh Samui to Suratani and then take a cab from there. That'll take you about 5 hours to Khao Sok National Park. But if you value your time like we do, we recommend flying. So getting around, so we rented an SUV from the Suratani International Airport. There was a budget rental car we rented for about $60 a day, which included insurance. You can also rent motorbikes near Khao Sok Village and in the vicinity of the dam for anywhere between 300 and 500 baht per day, or you can hire drivers and taxis as needed, okay? But if you like flexibility like we do, then you're gonna wanna rent a car and get the insurance. Hey folks, thanks for making it this far in the video. Here's a little bonus for you. Here as well, I'll give you 2 must-visit cafes in the area. Make sure when you're around the dam area, check out Uncle Cal's Passion Fruit Garden. It's up on the top of the hill. There's a nice viewpoint overlooking the dam and the southwest corner of the lake. Let me tell you, the view is incredible, and the passion fruit smoothie is also incredible. Don't miss it when you're in that area. Uncle Cal's passion fruit garden. Don't miss that. The second place I'll mention is the Bridge Hill Cafe. It's located midway between the main gate and the Ratchaprapha Dam, and it's a neat little cafe with decent food and drinks, and even has exquisite views of the nearby limestone mountains. And they also have overnight lodging, so if you want to maintain your great view from your bungalow, this may be a good option. And the last thing that I'll mention is in the town adjacent to the Ratchaprapha Dam, next to the 7-Eleven, every night between 5 and 8 p.m. they have a market. And when we were there, they actually had a festival where they had prize bulls and prize rooster cocks, right? And they also had concerts. But that evening market may be something to check out. So let's move on to my final thoughts and then conclude this. And before I get there, let me talk about some positives and then some negatives. So positives of Khao Sok National Park, whether you're staying on the lake, whether you're staying on the mainland, so much to do, so many different excursions, kayaking, cave dwelling, seeing the Cheow Lan Lake, hiking. Yeah, there's so much to do here. And just booking one full day excursion or even an overnight excursion can get you all of that. These are geared towards the general public, right? People who are younger, to include kids, all the way up to senior citizens. So if you want something that's a little bit more like a hike or something like that, that's more than just a 20-minute walk around the woods, then you're going to have to do your research and find one that's conducive for you. That's the positive. The negative is activities for tourists are just so expensive. Tourist sites and tourist excursions are more expensive here than most places in Thailand. When you come down here, you're gonna see that. Getting here is not more expensive, but once you get here, you end up paying more than the average locale in Thailand. That's just the way it is. Like I said, especially if you're trying to stay on a raft house on a lake with a bathroom, you're paying $300-400, sometimes up to $700. I cannot afford that. Here's some don'ts. Don't expect every guided tour or excursion to be the magical experience. Khao Sok National Park is a beautiful place, but with that said, all excursions are not equal. Sometimes you get what you pay for, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you might have to do a little bit of research, do some reading on the reviews, or heed my suggestions, but the bottom line, things are different. Also, when you go on the boat tour, it's a must-do. Take your rain poncho. You also might want to take some earplugs, because of that long-tail boat engine can be quite loud. So final verdict, Khao Sok is visually stunning. Cheow Lan Lake alone makes it worth visiting, but not every activity is a home run. If you plan smart, do the boat tour, selective excursions, do mainland lodging for most of the time, this place can be an unforgettable experience. But if you blindly book every tour offered, you might just end up sweating in the jungle and wondering where your money went. We would absolutely come back, and we plan to come back. That is our honest take. Folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for making it this far. If you got anything out of this video, please give me the thumbs up. Appreciate it. And we'll talk to you all later. See you in the next one.